it's me, your girl, Stasia Star. Welcome back to Stasia Star Daily, your go-to place for everything makeup, beauty, fashion, love and relationships, the level up journey, and anything that maintains and pertains to the modern day woman. So, as always, thank you guys for commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And if you want to connect with me, feel free to email me directly at rebelharpllc@gmail.com, as well as if you want to shop my accessories or any of my spiritual items that I sell. A few people have messaged me being a little bit curious about my energy readings. That's all on my website, rebelharp.com. So check that out if you would like to book a personal energy reading with me. I work with people all over the world, both men and women, and I love to provide people with different tools to ascend to their highest vibration. So without further ado, let's get into the topic for today's video. Today's video, we're going to be discussing the importance of solitude and isolation when leveling up. A lot of people actually don't go through the level up process because they are afraid of that shadow work or that moment of isolation. I truly believe that no one can level up unless they get comfortable being alone. And for my ladies out there who are looking to better their lives and become their best selves, we're going to have to get comfortable being alone. Whenever you start to vibrate on a higher frequency, be prepared for old patterns, habits, ways of thinking, and even places, persons, and things to be removed from your environment. Somebody who's very comfortable being alone. I travel the world alone. I've lived by myself since my mid-20s, and I really value myself as an individual. If you think about it, a lot of people remain in relationships or environments that don't serve them out of fear of being alone. They're too afraid to go out to dinner by themselves. They're too afraid to be single. And we see this in a lot in modern day society. People literally just being friends with someone, working at a job, or dating someone just because they don't want to take the time to sit by themselves. I'm very comfortable being alone. I'm actually kind of a hermit. I actually kind of have to force myself to go outside because I really enjoy my company. And I can say that over the past 5 to 6 years, with really taking the time to focus on myself and what my goals and aspirations are, I've really come to a place where I've begun to really know who I am. And one of the greatest things that happened through solitude is a true clarity around who you truly are. I always say as an energy reader that you have to know your own energy before you can really deal with others. If you don't know your energy, you won't know if what you're dealing with is coming from you or coming from someone else. And so, of course, being an energy reader and a spiritualist, I'm going to give you some references from different aspects of spirituality and faith that really talk about the power of isolation. I think a lot of time the words lonely or alone has a negative connotation, but isolation, I feel like, has more power. So begin to look at being alone as a powerful, empowering thing rather than something that means that no one wants to be around you or you're always having to do things by yourself. It's truly establishing a connection with yourself, your inner consciousness, your inner energy, and your outer energy, as well as the divine. So in Buddhist practices, solidarity is extremely significant. The practices of calming or quieting the mind, sitting and being still, and meditating is one of the focal aspects of their faith and their beliefs. The Buddhist was able to achieve enlightenment or understand nirvana, which is like the greatest form of high vibrational energy, unlocking those conscious gifts, the subconscious to the conscious, by sitting under a tree and meditating and thinking. In Buddhism, solitude is not an escape. It's a discipline for internal insight. The Buddha once said, "The mind is everything. What you think, you become." Now, as I continue with these references from different forms of spirituality, religion, and different ancient practices of faith, you're going to see a lot of similarities in the ways that these leaders thought. In Buddhist beliefs, practitioners often enter silent retreats to get closer to their inner self. They see this as a gateway to detach from all the noise of society and unlock inner truths within. Now we're going to move on to how this is represented in Christianity. Jesus repeatedly withdrew throughout times in the Bible. The most famous moments that stand out in the Bible is when Jesus was in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights. He heard the voice of God speak to him clearly, but also that is when he was tempted by the enemy the most. His 40 days in the wilderness before practicing his ministry reflect the profound necessity of isolation for spiritual and personal growth. In Luke 5:16, but Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. Solitude allowed Jesus to resist temptation and gain a closer connection to God and himself. It also helped him to align with his greatest purpose of spreading the gospel. He did this before returning to others. This can also be seen in the Jewish faith. In Jewish traditions, solitude is woven into the spiritual journey of prophets and mystics. Moses, for instance, encountered God alone on Mount Sinai. This wandering into the wilderness much similar to that of Jesus, symbolize transformation through separation and trust in the divine. And last but not least, you definitely see this in the isolation of the Prophet Muhammad in the Muslim faith. The writings and initial teachings of the Quran came to Muhammad while he was deep in solitude in the cave of Hira. He would often retreat there for days to meditate, pray, seek truth behind societal norms. From the Quran 97:1, indeed we revealed the Quran on a night of decree. This act of isolation and retreating is still practiced by many Muslims today. You can clearly see this in Ramadan, which many Muslims honor the Prophet's tradition of withdrawing from society and temptations and different pleasures to become closer to God. You also can see this in the Christian faith through fasting, withdrawing or isolating yourself from food or certain habits that might be hindering you in life. So I just wanted to add that some spiritual context throughout many different facets of faith to let you know that in order to level up and become your best self, spiritually, isolation is very sacred and important. So, how does this relate to your level up journey? Number one, let go to glow. You can't move forward in life by holding on to what's hurting you. And I am going to post another video going more in depth about releasing the past and leaving what has not served you, the lessons you have learned behind you. Let go of the past, release guilt and shame. I know it's easier said than done. Healing really starts when you stop revisiting old wounds and old cycles. Point number two, distance from distraction. Cutting off toxic friendships and relationships are essential to the level up journey. And it's also a major part energetically that happens when you begin to vibrate on a higher level. When you're in this moment of isolation, you will notice people just fall out of your life organically. Protect your peace from low vibrational energy, gossip, jealous friends, and emotional leeches. No one who truly loves you will drain you. Point number three, romanticize your solo season. Now I feel like I have conquered this. Like I travel the world. I'm always out and about. I shop alone. I eat alone. I just went to the movies to see Sinners by myself. I had such a good time. I had all the snacks. I really was never afraid to do things by myself. I've always kind of been fearless. When I was 19, I packed up and moved to California. Had never been there. I did that by myself. I used to go to New York on the weekends when I was a teenager just to shop and go to art museums and different events by myself. So I've always kind of been somebody who was okay exploring alone. I actually am more comfortable going on a solo trip than traveling with other people because I really get to do the things I want to do. I'm someone who loves horseback riding, going on different excursions, going on food tours. And sometimes when you travel with people, they just want to party at the beach. And I love doing that too. But I feel like when you do things alone, you really get the full embodiment of what you're desiring. A lot of the times when you have a lot of people with you, you'd have to be considerate of other things that people want to do, which is not a bad thing. But I find that when I go out of the country or when I go to another state alone, I literally do whatever I want and I have a full itinerary. I really have so much of a good time, and honestly, I always meet really amazing people as well. I always say that whenever I travel by myself, I'm not ever really alone. I'm always running into somebody who is interesting or somebody that's looking to meet a new friend. So I say all that to say, take yourself on dates. Cook for yourself. Dress the way you want. Book those trips. The best glow up happens when you truly enjoy your own company. Some of you guys are in your 20s, your 30s, you're super young, and you're like, where's my man? Where's my husband? I don't have a best friend. You're keeping yourself stuck. When in this season of isolation, you're meant to explore. You're meant to prepare for when those relationships that will take away from your time, that are going to require more consistency and more quality time, come into your life. I always say I'm 31, I have no kids, and I'm single. This is the only time in my life where I'll probably have this much freedom to do whatever I want when I want to. So don't take that for granted. You are not alone. You are becoming your best self. Know that when you're leveling up, your phone is going to be dry. And a lot of men specifically in the dating pool are going to fall off. You probably won't be approached as much, and you probably won't attract as much people. Don't let that shake your confidence. That is how you know that your energy, vibration, and standards have been risen, and other people can sense that. Men with ill intentions will eventually weed themselves out of your life or just leave you alone altogether. This will result in a lower quantity of men, but a greater quality of men. Unfortunately, there are not that many people, men and women in this world in high vibration. So as you continue to excel and raise your standards, your dating pool is going to get smaller and smaller. A lot of women make the mistake during this part of the level up journey to reverting back to the F-boys, Dustins, and players of their past. No, you are being isolated because you are being prepared. There is nothing wrong with being exclusive, okay? This is going to result in men who are serious to approach you. A man who is full of it, a man who just wants to play games, is not going to have the energy or the emotional capacity to deal with a leveled up woman. He eventually is going to sabotage and see his way out. You're certainly going to be tested just like Jesus was when he was in his isolation. You're definitely going to be tested because God, the universe, wants to know, have you really learned your lesson? Are you really valuing yourself? Or are you going to go back to what has not served you? Stay focused and don't give up. Continue to live your life and enjoy your singlehood. Enjoy this moment of freedom. Continue to do the things you've always wanted to do. Your self-confidence and self-esteem should have such a high vibration that people who have bad intentions literally will be afraid to approach you. Point number 4, silence is a power move. You don't need to prove anything to people who do not support you. Let your silence speak for your evolution. Stop explaining your vision, just execute. The right people will notice at the right time. And last but not least, we have point number 5, invest in you daily. Read, journal, move your body, dance, work out, meditate. Take classes, eat healthy, stay hydrated. This is all very important for the level up journey. Every action is a vote and confirmation for the person you are becoming. Be consistent, give yourself grace, and understand that you are not perfect, but you are worth it. Don't try to jump from point A to point Z. It's okay to climb slowly. You don't have to rush. You just have to devote your time to it and remain disciplined in the process. And so now we're going to get into the call to action activity for this video. Tonight, I want you to set the vibe. Light a candle, play some soft music, and take 30 minutes to journal about the things that you're releasing. Old relationships, fear, negative thoughts, shame, and the things that have distracted you for too long. Then write a declaration of who you are becoming. After journaling, sit with this energy for about 5 minutes. Close your eyes and visualize yourself glowing and radiating a peaceful energy. This is your rebirth season. And now the affirmation. I release what no longer serves me and make room for the woman I am destined to be. My silence is sacred and my solitude is powerful. My energy is exclusive and expensive. I am glowing, I am growing, and I am divinely guided. All right, guys, I hope this video resonated with some of you out there. Let me know, as always, what you think in the comments and what are you releasing as you continue to level up. Always remember, you are not alone. You are being prepared for greatness and sending you love and light and God's protection on your journey. See you soon. Bye.